The big, beautiful bill and homes. Let's talk about it on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's going on, Dreammakers? Welcome back to the show. We're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of mortgage and real estate news. It's Today in Mortgage. Rich, you got a big, beautiful personality. How you doing?
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Well, the big and beautiful bill is in the news, as is a ton of stuff right now. But we are going to talk about how it affects housing because that's something we really haven't touched on yet in this show, Rich. So we pulled an article from CNN.com. It says, here's how Trump's big, beautiful bill would impact housing. So we're going to talk about that today. So first of all, Rich, this is a big financial package having to do with a lot of stuff outside of housing. What are we looking at is overall in this bill, and why is it such a controversy on the Hill right now?
Well, it's 1,100 pages, so there's a lot of stuff in there. Critics of the bill, obviously, there are plenty, but some of the housing critics suggest that there's a ton of cuts to affordable housing initiatives and programs, which will make it tough for affordable housing, programs in different states and all over the country. So, the critics have some things to say about that. We'll see whether, those cuts take place. It's obviously the bill's in the Senate. The Senate is likely to make some changes, but we'll see. We'll see how it comes out.
Rich, obviously, I haven't read the full bill. You probably have not read that
No.
full bill either. But if this article is to be believed, and I think it's written pretty fairly, some of the things in here actually point to the reverse of what some of the critics are saying, and that there's expansion of low-income housing tax credit. So tell me about that and what we're looking at.
Yeah, the part that they are expanding that I've read about is the lower income tax credit, housing tax credit. So that is a good thing. That is to assist investors and builders and uh, landlords in renting to the lower of the median tax or income brackets within the cities. So by increasing what they're doing in that area, it should entice some builders to build not just apartment complexes, but multi-unit single or residences and single family residences. So there's some enticement to build there.
Yeah, it says it's going to restore and extend a temporary 12.5% increase in that low income housing tax credit through 2029. And so that is cited as this ability to maybe get an estimated over 500,000 additional affordable rental homes could be financed between now and 2026 and 2023 if these provisions were to become law. So that's a good step forward. We have obviously been looking for something from the administration to address this problem of low and middle income housing and just getting the inventory in those areas pumped up a bit. Rich, we also have larger tax breaks for homeowners in high tax states. What does that mean, and what is that going to do to help the situation out there?
Well, Michael, what you're referring to is the SALT deduction, the state and local tax deduction. So for some of those states where it's expensive to own property, right? You're paying a lot of real estate taxes, and so this helps them. In fact, the increase in the deduction has started at 40,000, which is a benefit to homeowners that live in those states where they can deduct that state and local tax from their federal income tax. The criticism is it really only benefits the rich because they're the ones living in, these big properties that have these big taxes. But that's not always the case, Michael. I mean, taxes in Texas, real estate taxes, they're up there. So you're limited to right now 10,000 deduction.
Yeah, Rich, you said both of these numbers right here, but I just want to highlight the increase would go from 10,000 to 40,000 in the amount that you could deduct, and that is the taxes you're paying on your property that you can deduct from your income tax for federal purposes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. And so, well, those are two of kind of the positive aspects that are being pointed out here. The criticism, obviously, overall on this big, beautiful bill is that it doesn't do enough to address the deficit. Rich, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that criticism is real and it's coming from both sides of the aisle because this big, beautiful bill does increase the tax deficit. It increases spending. There's areas in here that both sides of the aisle have a big problem with. And, when you're not addressing your debt, and we have a lot of it, I mean, we pay, over $1 trillion in interest on that debt per year as the United States does. So it is a big factor. And when you have debt like that, it's hard to get investment, and you need investment in order to finance that debt. And right now, they're saying that we could possibly see some interest rate increases because of that debt. Now, we don't know how it's going to pan out, but this is both sides being concerned that maybe interest rates do rise because of this debt and we're not addressing it. We have to address the deficit somehow, some way, but this bill doesn't really do it. In fact, there are very few cuts.
Rich, obviously, we're not experts on the deficit, but we do know a little bit about what happens when there's uncertainty on how that debt gets paid back. And it can affect, like you said, interest rates, which would be kind of another negative piece of the puzzle all around. But obviously, a lot at play here. We'll see what happens with this big, beautiful bill as it progresses through the Senate and see what comes back to the House and ultimately gets signed into law. But something to look at, and hopefully we'll do some of the things that we talked about at the top of the episode to address some of the housing issues and get some supply back online in those key areas where people really are looking for those affordable homes. Rich, before we sign off on this today, anything else you want to talk about going into the rest of the week?
Hey, something to be thinking about is if you do want to engage yourself in this debate, right? You can write your senator, your local congressman, you can write them and let them know how you feel about it. So, listen, if you sit on the sidelines and have nothing to say, then you can't complain about anything. So, get engaged, understand what's happening, and put your vote in for or against. Like, let your senators and local congressmen know how you feel about it.
That's right. And if you're getting engaged and you're advocating one way or the other, it's important to be informed and be educated on those topics. And so, Rich, you do a great job of doing that for our people here, getting us smart on all the things that we need to know about. If you guys are out there, you're looking for a place that is on your side, behind your back, pushing you to be better every single day, network funding is a great place to hang your hat if you're a loan officer out there looking for a home. So reach out, click the grow link below, reach out to Rich, and he'll get you all the information you need to know about being part of the best network in mortgages. Rich, last words from you.
I think let's end it there. Let's see what happens to the big beautiful bill, and we'll circle back, and maybe great things come of it.
All right. Well, we sure hope so. Thanks everyone out there for watching, listening, wherever you are. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.